Christmas and a Happy New Year. Good evening. It is time. Go for it. Grandma, do you want to sit closer so we can?
So
What are we gonna do?
We're gonna watch the whole version of that old.
Oh, you're playing one.
So you had your chance, but you didn't. Okay.
record
So
me
next
that
time when
we
Jeff
watched
says
it?
some reverse, that's
I
what you do
didn't.
next time. Okay. Then you should have said your reverse.
He's
So-
teaching me.
So all the
I
things in
might
life
have
have
put on a bit of
consequences.
performance. if I
No,
was-
that's not the
She finds
point.
out that James asked
Oh,
Julie to
my.
film her. She goes, "You're the sneakiest man alive."
So you can catch it.
Jack,
I got what?
Grandma's reaction to the video. Jasmine, stop whining.
Oh, that looks
No,
like
she's
it.
asking for colored water.
Oh, I'm facing the other way, dear.
Here, John, Grandma's coming.
Grandma's gonna sit in that blue chair.
But I can. You don't have to move.
I don't know where it is, baby. Where's the colored water? Okay, go get it.
You mean excuse me? It's excuse me.
All right. I don't think there is. I don't think there's any sound. So here we go. 4.5 minutes.
Nice swimsuit.
I don't think the same thing.
You recognize any of that?
That's not your swimsuit?
I've never been there. Those look like changing booths or something. Oh.
Is that your father?
I think so.
Looks like a
Good
Rolf.
job.
Yep.
That is some swimsuit. That is so a Rolf.
Isn't it Dennis?
No.
That's my dad.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. They went on vacation to Mozambique, to Beira, which has another name now. And I bet you this is it.
Oh, this is Mozambique.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I've never
This
been
is terrible photography.
there. Yes, yes. I told James she was not a great photographer. And I got her genes.
It probably has something to do with the equipment as well.
Yeah, the focus doesn't look awesome.
Yeah.
We hope you have enjoyed your stay.
Yeah, that's my dad.
Yeah. This zip-up work suit.
Oh, that's our house in Salisbury.
Do you know this cat?
No. See the bars on the window? I could be wrong that that's our house in Salisbury. I take it back.
Well,
Yeah, it's still here at Mozambique. Should be able to tell what year it is from the car.
Department of Civil Aviation.
Aviation. Salisbury.
Oh, this is probably when they're coming to pick you up.
Ah.
Don't touch them.
Here you come on the
Oh,
plane.
there we go.
Just
It was a piddly little plane, wasn't it? I surely didn't come all that way from Europe in it. Must have.
The airport seems out in the bush too.
So in this next scene, I think you can see that you're pregnant with Mom.
Yeah, I'm surprised I didn't show up much there.
There's
Oh,
two.
look at this. I should remember that cat then. Oh, my, yes.
And that's the end.
That's it. Oh, that's so cute.
that mushroom in the yard.
Yeah.
Can I watch it again?
Wanna watch it again? Let's start it over.
Well, you'll get to see my grandfather in a disturbing swimsuit.
Disturbingly awesome.
I think we had
I'm like,
stills.
what goes around comes around.
It's disturbing is that
Back
man
to the
in
show.
shirt is not behind you?
And,
Who's the red? We don't know.
We don't know.
It's not Grandma.
Thank you.
and I can't remember what we used to call that white suit he's in.
Are those changing houses?
I think so. I
Pink for girls, blue for boys.
I wasn't there, but
No, ma'am.
He's waving.
Well, what's so funny?
Suit.
What is this?
Well, he must have been wearing a suit like that when he dived into a
No, ma'am.
pool on a farm
Justin, if you do that again,
where we
that's
used to
gonna
go
tap you
visit
in
and
the
they had a
heart.
pool.
We do not
And he
report to
lost
the
them.
mouse.
And the water was all
Not
murky
in the mouth.
and he couldn't get out.
Yes, you can love it, but you don't have to bite it. You can love it by looking at it.
Just
You can love it by
pretend.
pretending. But it does not
We
go
don't
in
know
your
what
mouth.
this is.
She's thinking that they were on vacation in Mozambique.
That's not food, so it's a
What's that last
what it is. Pick up your water.
I remember that walk.
Is that motorcycle the one that they have a picture on?
I doubt if they had the motorcycle.
Let's go back. Let's go back and look at the motorcycle.
But I don't remember that white cat, and it must have been there since
It looks very new.
with Vivian.
Because am I remembering correctly? There's a picture of him and Grandma Annie on a motorcycle.
Yes, but
Oh no,
they
that,
were
There.
just 8.
Right
Look,
there,
Mom.
right there,
They were just 18.
on the left.
yeah, no, couldn't be the same one because they caught it on this motorcycle, and this here is when they're grandparents now. So that must be the house in Salisbury.
The deer statues.
Are your bars as fancy as that in Sierra Leone?
No.
So we know what year this is. We know what year this car is in.
Do you think they're 61 models?
The newest cars on the market are at the airport. I bet you made it from Europe in that plane, because
Are you safe?
I think there's 2 jet engines on each wing. When it comes straight at you,
Yeah.
you can see 2 holes on each wing, and I think that's got a 4-engine plane. So I bet you came in from Europe on that thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I don't remember changing after Rome.
Grandpa Vale, actually, when I called him on his birthday, he knew the name of the plane, and he's like, "Oh yes, the Comet. It's a special plane."
But where is Vivian? Oh, she's there with me. Because how could I come down the stairs with...
I don't think she was with you down the stairs.
Who is? Do you know the woman there in the brown suit?
Stewardess?
It's the stewardess.
I made that jacket Vivian's wearing.
These socks.
And what is she wearing here?
Looks like a matching suit to her grandfather's.
Yeah. Better save that for posterity, I think.
Be James.
That would be James.
The film.
Callisto knew exactly where that thing was.
Do you remember how that
Hold on, Grandma. Don't go too far.
came into your possession, the film?
No, it was just a spool like this.
And you don't know how you got it?
She will. Okay.
Sure was the most reminding stuff. And we just knew that we wanted to see what was on it. But it was only one.
All right. This one has audio.
Don't
Jasmine,
take
you
my
are not the
phone.
boss.
No! There's Mom's.
Let me make sure.
Super ready for it. I'm still preparing.
Isn't it time for you to go to bed?
No.
Isn't it time for bed?
What time is it?
7:40.
You said there is audio?
There should be.
And this is also an
Pretty
African one?
cool lizard.
This VHS tape was only labeled Africa '86.
I think this is Robbie, because look, there's Susie. It's Robbie and Susie in
Just give me a hold
Africa
on your head.
in '86. Whoa, look at Robbie's shorts. Whoa! Whoa! Robbie!
Julie, can you figure out the volume?
And socks.
Is this the one with audio?
Oh, there.
This is at Rhodes Memorial. That's
I
where
do remember some audio.
Cecil John Rhodes
Still
is
just the
buried.
VHS.
this was a very sacred place. Right on the top of a copy with a lovely view.
Sit.
He had chosen that as his burial.
It doesn't seem like it was any better photography in '86 than it was in '61.
But this must have been taken on Robbie's equipment. Surely not Grandma.
Well, this wasn't this was a VHS tape.
Oh,
Yeah, I think Robbie made a copy for you.
But look how spiffy he's dressed in that African heat. He doesn't have shorts on.
No.
Susie, carry the equipment.
Long sleeves, dark pants.
Might have been in winter. I arrived in winter, that one we saw. That's what they hit.
I'm pretty sure there's supposed to be audio. Let's click ahead. Alright, let me move audio to my laptop and see if that helps.
Who's that white-haired lady?
TV's on.
Grace?
Let's see, so let's go back to
Oh, it's the Blue Church. That's who were baptized and became Adventists.
Oh really?
Wayne's sister was married there and I was her maid of honor. But Blue Church, 1928. That big building. Oh yeah, that big building is the Zambezi Union Mission.
Oh.
That's where I worked. That's where Wayne's dad was the president.
So am I supposed to know any of these people?
I don't recognize them. You know, I think that one in front is Susie.
Well, this guy was preaching.
Making a hang on racket.
Uh-huh. You can sit on that stool, Grandma.
Am I anybody's way?
See, it's just not getting any audio.
How would you here pause it? That's the video.
I mean, we don't have to pause the video. There's a lot of. Alright, so it should be going through the HDMI cable. It's weird. Alright. We'll just use
I don't recognize that house. Maybe I should call Robbie and ask him. He doesn't forget it.
Told me we wish you bought better equipment.
What type of tree is this?
Papaya? I don't know. Oh, sure enough.
Good work.
Good guess.
You know these kids?
No, I don't know their surroundings. So.
Oh, it's a boy's dorm.
Oh! All right, this is out at Lucy. I bet you this is Lucy Mission.
Who worked at Lucy?
At this time, I don't know, but you know, Robbie went to all the spots.
I'm asking in the history of the royal family who worked at Lucy.
His dad was the education secretary. You see what they use, those are just tin cans. His dad was the secretary of education, and that Sir Lucy was without a principal for a while. And so they went out there, and Rain was the young boy. But friends of ours, you know, who would graduate from Heidelberg would go with us students. And we often visited out there. It was, I don't know, an hour's drive from Bulawayo over very bad roads. And you had to cross the Guai River, and there was no bridge, just a ford.
What is these buildings? What were they used for?
Yeah.
I think
That's your boy's dorm.
The tour guide is a fighter.
But anyway, you had to cross the Guai River, and sometimes it would be in the rainy season.
Renee? Anyone know Renee?
Miss Oswald. And in the rainy season, then you would be stuck on either side of the Guai, and you couldn't cross over till the water went down.
Oh my goodness.
And sometimes the Africans would just appear out of the woods and give you a push if the river wasn't too high. This is what Seleucia looked like in my day. But anyway. But then they built a dam, and the whole place just transformed into a beautiful place. This was the land that was given to them by Cecil John Rhodes. Wayne knows. This is the copy where we don't know.
One tribe come in and stolen the cattle. And so when the missionaries had to leave, they said, look, don't try to get the cattle back. Somehow or another, though, the cattle came back. But since the Africans instructed not to get back, they went and took them back to the tribe. You must know some had one that has the cave. I thought the words were all back.
Maybe this is where we get our love of rocks from.
Okay. Robbie seems to have this same thing.
This is in the dry season. There are two seasons, rainy season and dry season.
Looks like a dam. Or a lake.
Maybe so. Here we go.
But they send the youth brigade out. These guys are ruthless. It's just young fellows, They are the ones that do a lot of the killing and beating. And this young fellow was standing up front there and talking, I thought he was explaining that anniversary of his little life. And there were 8 footballs. 8 of them. But they just kind of stick around we had to stop and open the program.
And there, see? Transformed.
14 days. They're over here, so all of the vegetable matter gets processed back through, But it's just lush. Right now we're getting lots of cauliflower and broccoli and even grow some yellow corn for us.
Oh, really?
When I came to Africa, I brought along some white sweet corn seed. I thought I was really going to show you something unusual, white corn. And we got to find out that's all we grow. In fact, we don't like yellow corn there. Like a fruit. Solid yellow corn.
It's a lot more
We do a lot of seedlings here.
informative watching this review than trying to guess on my own who these people are and what they're doing.
Yeah.
We even taking part of it, Yeah, they don't do too much with that, but they do a few.
Yeah, you see, so this is after the dam was built because they didn't have gardens like this in mind.
How would they just haul the water in buckets?
So we were very
Probably had a well,
That's kind of the model.
but I don't remember them growing anything. They lived on
It's just one
minimal
hectare,
and
but they grow
a stew.
Huh.
Beans. Oh yeah, and they had a graveyard up there. Some of the old missionaries buried there.
Now, that was a rather traumatic time. The boys up in Zambia this country, we got across the border all right. The people on the South African side said, you'll never make it through. There's no use going. We said, well, we've got to go. Our children are up in Zambia. They looked at us like we were unfit parents or something, you know. Yeah, these roofs have to be replaced every few years, but they do a pretty good job of recalling. Really? Now these are not as thick as some. You know, if you make them real thick, they'll last for years. Isn't this picturesque though? With this mountain right behind? Yeah. Can't you just picture that?
Banana tree.
Now you're acquainted with substance. This lady needs to find out what substance that will be ground up. We have a grinding machine right here. Or out in the village, they would even use a kind of a hollowed stone or log, kind of a hollowed log. Is the only one put it here? You have one here? Yeah. I'm getting gigabyte. Yeah, if they could show us how yeah. They can steel things, we would call it. They will grind that up and then make a very stiff porridge, like you can see how it's very, very stiff there. And you eat that what, at least once a day?
Oh yeah. It was stiff and they used to roll it into little balls and stick it in the stew.
Is he speaking Afrikaans?
No. Probably Sindebele. See, that's what they used to mash the corn.
People still do that in Sierra Leone.
Really? Is it a hollowed out log?
Yeah. And by people, I mean it's common. Like, I'll see our staff using that probably weekly. Their sticks are longer.
It's really scary. So one person will burn the stick, and the other person will lift up the stick, will like move it into a ball, and then it'll go down, and then it'll fall. Sometimes she gets yeah.
I'll be full of questions.
They're under their dining room table.
And you have ammo.
You must show this to Wayne, because he lived there as a boy,
Oh, really?
and he would know a lot more about it than I do. I used to just visit.
Well, if I had known, I would have sent him this for his birthday.
Yes, yes.
The only things I knew about this was it was recorded in Africa in the year 1986.
86 is quite
So
recent.
Robbie's not one.
2 years before James was born.
Yeah.
Is James older than Robert?
Robert was born on James's due date.
Oh, of the same year.
They're 2 weeks apart.
Oh, wow.
So is this one of the boys?
That's Robert.
Robert.
I mean, yeah, Robbie.
Robbie.
Their boys aren't born yet.
If this actually is 86, like it's labeled on the VHS at least.
Yeah. Robbie looks so young. So this is obviously one of the Europeans' houses.
Looks like they got pressurized water
Yeah.
for their gardens.
Uncle Dan would know what kind of bird that is.
Cornflakes. Oh, what? In the last quarter, maybe even coming up, it's 20-30 minutes of somebody in a zoo explaining everything about ostriches. It's pretty interesting.
I went to an ostrich farm once down in South Africa, and you could ride the ostriches, and I wanted to ride one so badly, but I was with a group of kids from the camp. I was a counselor at the camp, and I had a dress on, and I didn't want to expose too much.
Did you ever end up riding an
Yeah,
ostrich?
in fact, I think that's the only time I ever saw ostriches.
Can you sit in my lap?
No. Did you know ostriches don't make a sound?
Huh.
They just have a pathetic cry when they're hurt.
If you get bored, we don't have to watch every animal.
Can you fast forward?
Fast forward.
Jasmine.
Oh, what are they?
They look like,
Wildebeest?
yeah. Alright, we're gonna go to 2 times normal speed. Oops.
Looks like he has a revolver there.
Maybe this is a tour guide?
He's the ranger.
Oh, so he is armed.
Efforts into bark, leaves, and shrubs.
He must be at a
Like a game park or
yeah,
something?
game reserve. I thought these were wandering on Salusi.
Next time we were there the first time. Say,
Vaguely.
how did it tap me? I think I've seen it tap because I don't know the first time.
That's older than that one.
Can you see it?
Didn't she say last night that Daddy's annoying?
No, she said Daddy had to be nice to her.
Yeah, but then she was complaining about.
Alright, we better pick it up because I think we are only. Ow.
Say sorry, Uncle James. Jasmine, can you give me a tissue, please?
They're nice and fat.
No, I'm gonna put my gum in it.
Get her a napkin, baby.
Oh, yeah, a napkin will be good.
Look at those fat zebras.
Or rhinos, maybe?
Hippos, probably. And those deer with long horns like that were saber. There's an ostrich, all right.
You can hear the car engine running.
And so they are in some game.
Oh my goodness.
Well, they saw all the animals.
This is telling me that we have another 5 hours of tape left. We're 38 minutes in.
So you've never watched the whole thing?
No, I.
Oh, all right. We can skip the animals.
He's very thorough with documentation.
Trust me, it's not getting last week.
Yeah, I'm not gonna keep you from your daddy. All right. Well, let's just instead of even fast forwarding, let's just click ahead. Let's see what gets us.
Oh, must be the Victoria Falls.
Oh, this is Victoria Falls.
Sounds like it. It was called,
Oh,
Look,
at
look,
that.
Mom.
that's it. Yeah. And this is where you see a rainbow.
Oh.
I've stood in that very spot. I forget the name that the Africans used to call it, but they never went near it. And the name meant the water that thunders.
Huh.
Well, in '86, it didn't seem to be a big tourist trap.
Yeah, there's nobody there.
Yeah. And they are there in the dry season. We, Cecil and I, in a canoe with Africans, came down the river this way to the edge. There's a little island there that you could stand on. See over
Better
the
not
edge.
miss.
Wow.
And we got caught in the rapids.
Oh my goodness.
And the Africans were sweating, and Mom and Dad were on the shore having a heart attack. But Cecil and I were pretty oblivious of what was going on.
How old were you? Teenagers?
10, 11.
Oh, wow.
You're young.
Yeah. Yeah, I noticed they sent us children. They didn't go.
All right. We got 5 hours to get through, so
The Victoria Falls is David Livingstone discovered it, and it's the tallest. Well, when you compare it with Niagara, it's taller, but Niagara is wider.
Niagara's wider?
Hmm.
Wow.
You can only get pictures, decent pictures, in the dry season because there's too much mist in the rainy season.
Mm. Really is impressive.
All right, that bridge I've been over many times
Where does it go?
between North and Southern Rhodesia, now Zimbabwe and Malawi and Zambia.
cultural objects. Cultural objects. One of them is a roughly prepared antelope skin, sometimes decorated with beads made from ostrich shells. Whole ostrich eggs bored at one end and plugged with grass for storing and carrying.
Robbie's giving a lecture.
Yeah. Or a commentary.
That doesn't surprise anyone in the room, does it?
Really is impressive rapids down there.
And you see the gorge narrows, and so it's really a torrent. I don't think anybody can survive in it. Oh, that tree.
Whoa.
Looks like a trailer. Can you back up?
Yeah.
Forward a little bit. Stop. I can't believe it.
I think it's true, Mom. This is your house, and
This
then
is the house.
this is your house that you lived in,
This is
and
the
your
house.
father had a magnificent garden.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And Robbie said it was terribly run down.
yeah.
It was a nice place. Probably Dad planted that hedge. Oh my stars. Look how tiny it was.
How long did you live there?
Well, all my teenage years, all the years I was at Helderberg,
Wow.
and till I went to the States.
Is this the house that Grandma Amy had to come back and settle up all by herself?
No, that was a much nicer house in Salisbury. It was in Bulawayo. And in those days, a slang expression was, "Oh, don't be such a clot." And anyway, don't be so dumb, or I don't know why. And so they were trying to think of a name for this. And Robbie, my boyfriend, came up with the name Clotville.
Clotville?
And sure enough, Mom and Dad went for it, and there was a sign up there, Clotville.
No. but when your dad was in charge of the yard, wasn't there a circle?
Yes.
A circle thing out front of
Yes.
flowers or
Yeah.
something?
And a lawn. Lawns were very unusual. Yeah. And I don't think we had a gate. And the hedge wasn't that high. And we had a paved road. I don't know what all that dirt is.
Yeah, let's back up, because I think so. There's a little bit of pavement, because it looks like he's inside a fence even.
The windows are different, but that's the house. The porch, the front area there wasn't filled in like that. was
Open.
all open in the front. They've made another room out of it or something. And then my mum and dad laid flagstones all the way in the front there, very,
Oh yeah,
very
I can
pretty.
see those.
And then the gravel driveway came down, circular drive. But now, my, looks like it belongs in the slums.
There's a nice like garden
See,
there in the
yeah,
middle.
there was
Yeah,
a nice
they-
garden there.
Yeah.
Magnificent, actually.
It looks like
Street
paper-
lights.
pavement.
There's a paved road. Well, one day, Joy was riding her bicycle on this road here, and an African came by and knocked her down. And she was sitting in the road crying. I jumped on her bicycle with the handlebars like this, pedaled as fast as I could after him, and he was going way ahead. And then it dawned on me, what am I going to do if I catch him anyway? So I came home. I bet you this is one of Joy's relatives. I bet you that's Dennis's mom.
Oh.
Well, where's his father?
His father died quite young,
Oh.
but he might be there, I don't know. But he was a big burly man. But these might be his brothers.
In '86. Would they have had such white hair in '86?
Now this I think is his mother, but these men, oh, he's got white hair. Might have been blonde. But you hear their Afrikaans accent.
Mm-hmm. I tried to listen in on some of these conversations to figure out who these people are, and it was like 3/4 of the time I had no idea what people were trying to say.
I'm pretty sure that's his brother.
So this is Uncle Den's mother.
Yeah. Robbie just took in the whole tour, met everybody, went to every place.
There's, I think, hours of footage of these people.
Oh, well, we don't know. But I bet you those are his brothers.
I kind of want to say this is Robbie's first trip to Africa. But I don't really know that.
See how the rondavels, the huts are in an enclosure.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
He's taking a picture of the art, and now it's cut to the actual
Up
thing.
above, you can see the hill enclosure.
There are these ruins like that all over Africa, southern Africa. And it's a mystery. In my day, it was a mystery. Who built them? Oh, this is in Zimbabwe, the Zimbabwe ruins. And yeah, this is Zimbabwe ruins. And they thought that this is where King Solomon came and traded for gold.
Oh.
There's no mortar between the rocks.
Wow.
And so the country Zimbabwe is named after these ruins. But this is the main impressive rules, then they're just others scattered around. But very little is known about their origin.
It's interesting that the whole country is named for something people don't know too much about.
Yes. And there's a bird, a carving of a bird. Yeah, and that was then put on the currency The shilling had this above with it.
Huh.
You see these narrow passages here. So they thought they were built by tiny people.
Well, Robbie and Susie seem to be the only tourists.
Maybe the only ones who could fit that day.
I've never been there.
You know, I really should put these on a flash drive so you can show Grandpa 'em.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
You might lose him for 5 hours if this is a 5-hour thing, though.
Yeah. But you people probably don't
Let's
want
fast forward through some of
to
that.
see any more of that. But Wayne would enjoy it.
That's
you see,
amazing rock work.
See how impressive that wall is with no mortar.
We're driving somewhere now.
Looks like there's another game museum. Those are hyenas.
There's a lot of game park footage. Ooh, nice hat.
Wow, in style. You must have gone on a tour.
These look like Uncle Dan's relatives again.
Could be. Yeah, because clearing out of that.
This is the trouble I had. I watched some of this on fast forward. On fast forward, you can't hear if he's like narrating where he is
Yeah.
as he starts the shot.
Beaches are better in
Look at,
Africa.
but look, yes, look at how far out the waves are, the shallow way out.
And how empty it is.
All right, I'm sure this is Dennis's relatives, because they live near the coast.
It's kind of a weird courtyard thing.
Yeah. Auntie Grace had one like that when we visited her in Africa, Mum and I. It's cool.
I bet. Look at that headboard.
They're coming back.
Lovely view. You know, I wonder if that was Bobby.
That one?
No, the one who was talking. Look what I did here.
The fat one.
Yes.
Better go back. Are these Bobby's kids?
He had 2 sons. And I don't think they were much older than yours.
All right, here he comes.
Yes, I wouldn't be one bit surprised.
Canyons. People adventuring in canyons.
And it's so many rocks. Oh. And the sand, Lynette, you remember how nice the sand is?
And the light. The light is so good in Africa.
The seagulls.
Whoa.
Whoa. Sorry, I want to go back and watch that in real time.
Yeah. They're coming in at a rate.
So they can beach.
They make it look easy.
And they pulled up the motor as they came up. It was smooth.
Oh, another one.
I'm just shocked at the lack of.
They're dressed up like a team. It makes you wonder if they were racing or something.
Yeah, or you wouldn't think fishermen would have uniforms.
They do.
They had a good catch.
The beach is just empty.
Still at the beach. The parking lot's empty too.
Oh.
Big parking lot.
That's Grace, Mom.
Yes.
So not Merle?
Merle.
No.
Japanese.
Is that her husband?
I think so.
They divorced and he lived in the basement.
And then they got married again.
He came up from the basement. So this is Carol's mother. Carol is married to Arthur, Quentin's mother.
Yes.
And I wonder if that's Bob.
Right, are you sure you don't want to put your dad, eh? Yeah, I might, but he should be home by now. It's, I might need to wait just a little bit longer. I think he's teaching.
Yeah, that's right. Bobby. I was so fond of Bobby. he's pulling off with his teeth.
It looks like they're making lures. Wasn't he a fisherman type guy with his boat?
Well, he did go on big fishing trips and catch blue marlin out and away. When Robbie and I were children, when we lived in Rhodesia, in Bulawayo, in that little house, we'd gone out to the Rolf's house, 10 miles away out in the Bushmore. And there's a big flat-topped mountain there called Tabasinduna. And the Matabili used to throw their enemies off of Tabasinduna.
Wow.
Anyway, yeah, that's Auntie Grace.
Yeah.
And so one Sabbath afternoon, Bobby and I went for a walk to Tapasinduna, and we lay on the slopes there singing carols, choruses, having a good old time. We just got along so well. Meanwhile, it got later and later, and they were worried about us at the house. And we had walked through grass that was taller than we were. And my dad and Uncle Jack followed the spurs, followed us to where we were. They were calling for us, but we were busy singing.
Do you think this is Laverne, Mom? This one?
No.
The little one.
Oh, the little one. Oh, I have no idea. But that could be Carol.
No.
No?
Because
Oh.
Carol's older than I am, and in '86 I was,
Oh, yeah.
24.
But my, that's Auntie Grace as I remember her. And probably as you.
Yeah, that's how she was when I saw her.
I didn't know Bobby was so good in the kitchen. He was so arrogant.
These are Uncle Ben's?
No.
So how is Bobby tied into people?
He's Grandma's first cousin.
He's Auntie Grace's son.
So Grandma's brother was his father.
Yeah, my dad's brother.
Yeah, your dad's brother.
This is
Jack.
yeah.
This is Jack?
No.
No, this is Jack's oldest son.
This. Wait. Yes.
See, that's Bobby. Yeah, that's Bobby.
These little kids, Mom, they came when we saw Grace.
Well, then the two boys are Bobby's. Maybe that one's a boy and not a girl.
Oh, so that's who came to DC were Bobby's kids?
Yes, with Auntie Grace.
Oh. What's business being naughty?
They don't take video like this anymore.
Not quite.
Just people hanging around in the kitchen or a row of recliners of people talking.
Yeah.
The guy on the right would be your age, right? Mom?
Well, this Robbie.
One shirt.
Oh, it's nap time.
Right. You're a little bit tired.
So, who is this Merle, Mom? In the green?
Hugs, baby.
Yes.
Hopping over here.
She always had such a nice figure. Even after 4 children.
Oh, sleep so good. Give Willow a hug.
I wonder who that is.
Hi, did Daddy wash your face? Okay, good. I can kiss you. Love you. Your jammies are so soft and nice.
Gigi hug.
Can you stand up? Oh, because you're big. Okay.
Yeah, please stand up.
Stand up. There we go. Good night. Sleep nice. Okay, we can fast forward.
Robbie's commentary when I saw this soon after 86 was, there I am being a doofus reading a book while everybody's talking.
Oh, so you've seen this?
I think we have. I mean,
He's also teaching out of the book.
He's also wearing glasses.
And his shirt buttoned down.
oh, his favorite of all time.
Yeah.
It's his favorite book. Call Little Bushville.
I didn't realize Bobby was so big. Right. And he picked up a South African accent, Afrikaans accent. Bobby wasn't educated. I don't think he finished high school. But he got into the construction business and became very wealthy. Made and lost a fortune twice. And then died a pauper. See him eating with knives and forks?
Robbie is too. He has his fork in his left hand. No, not there.
So who's taking the video if that's...
Susie.
We have just started to use it.
And nobody can pitch a fit about me taking video while people are eating.
Because,
It's historical.
yeah, it's a family tradition. That's Mo. But you see how they had the art of conversation in those days.
My dad's like almost 20 hours now.
Yeah, the children aren't at the table.
Janet wanted to give some kittens. And you tell the story now. Tell the other man that I think Janet also, they wanted to know where he was. They didn't do good. Let's see that. Then when she said, Janet's going to give one of the little kittens.
You hear that?
Sounds like somebody's abducting leopard cubs.
A dad.
Shot the mother as she came out.
Shot the mother as she came. He,
Well, they said that my grandfather's mother was had coffee. Your grandfather's mother? She kept going back to Rob, great grandfather.
I don't know, it's her from Pops.
Actually, we can trust our family tree right back into the time we lived in it.
what did you say? We can trace it.
Yeah, back to I don't know who.
My grandmother was a Gilligan. She's Irish. Her father was Irish. Her mother. No recommendation. Any Irish. Better than a golf. Her mother.
See why I like books.
And I think she was on the third one. The third husband. The first marriage with my grandmother's brother, I think they ended up getting divorced. The second one, she married a British captain or something like that. Very nice man, apparently, but he died. So she married. Yeah, she married a gold daughter. It was this Irish gold miner. And my grandmother, and then died soon after. So she died when my grandmother was a year old.
4 years old.
And when did Dorothy come in?
No.
Dorothy.
And she was a officer.
I think actually she's a cousin. Yeah.
She was adopted, wasn't she?
I don't know the connection. We're going to see her in Cape Town. She's about to start training.
Oh, that'll probably be on the tape.
We're planning to see her.
I'm not too sure.
She's gonna know it. I think she's a cousin, but she grew up with my grandmother and it's like a
That's right, yes.
See, he keeps saying, I think, but he knows all the answers.
He knows.
He knows this is fact.
He doesn't want to be too dogmatic.
So she went to the dentist to get her tooth removed, and they put her full anesthetic. They had a tooth removed. So as they're removing the tooth, my grandmother's sister starts coming out. So they give her more anesthetic. She died in the dentist chair.
And how old was she?
I don't know. She wasn't that much older than my grandmother.
30 something.
35.
See?
My grandmother was like 18, so she got very old.
That was her sister who died in the chair.
It was Grandma's sister.
Yeah.
But it wasn't for one tooth that I remember. She was going to have them all out.
Seems like the dentist would have been digging for gold. Why would you want that?
John doesn't fit for dentures.
You know, this is the house that Grace lived in when we went to visit her. This is Bobby's house.
Wow.
When you see it from the front, it's just this door and a wall, a hole in the wall. And you go through that, and here's this beautiful.
Yeah, we saw that.
Wait. I must have. It's a flower
Rewind it, James.
So what the-
Yeah, and this is one of the. Robbie used to think that was a big joke.
It is a big joke.
You're gonna go back to the beginning?
Turn
No.
it around now.
Just the beginning of the house of this section because they showed you the door. See?
Oh, wow.
No. Keep going.
So then it's gonna cut, and we're gonna go down the stairs.
Well, that might be the door. All
And
right.
you go.
And you go down, and here's this beautiful place. This is the foyer.
How did he make his first fortune?
Construction,
And the second fortune?
same. And then he overextended himself the first time, or there was a crash, or I don't know why. And he built it up again and lost it. I think this was Robbie's favorite trophy. Look how good looking Merle
Turning
is.
around now.
A trophy from what? What is it?
It's a gold door.
Yes, a plant.
It's a plant.
Yeah.
That is the weirdest thing.
What did she say?
I haven't seen a male one.
Then all around the room, the next room, his living room, he's got alcoves with beautiful stuff in them.
I'm really happy you know what all this is.
And he had a TV. And this is a magnificent painting.
Like a beauty TV.
Looks like a Remington.
Jacuzzi tub.
That was advanced for that age, that time.
these naked women in the bathroom.
Yeah, which fascinates Robbie.
Or Susie.
Oh, Susie. But these paintings were close to this room, connected to this room that had all this humidity, and his paintings were getting moldy. He didn't care. And then this is the view from his back porch. Everybody has to have a parrot.
Man, you really have to have a gardener to maintain all that.
Yeah. So if this was 86, when did I take Grandma? I was in Japan. So I was probably there 10 years later.
That's Father's Day. And all of this that we are standing on here, all of this, Robbie, I brought in, it's all topsoil I brought from the farm. So we brought in 4,500 tons of topsoil. Wow.
Wow.
That's why it's still consolidating, stripping down. Wow. Now, if you look across here, I've got because every 3 meters approximately are planted indigenous trees. Those are indigenous trees. All indigenous trees, mostly plant born indigenous. I'll tell you, and they just hang all from the. Wow, looks like an old man. I had the right to garden.
So 10 years later, this was very nice. Look at his shorts. Marula tree. So these must be Bobby's sons.
Where's Bobby's wife?
Remember the story about Zacchaeus that climbed into a little sycamore? Well, one foot was a little big tree. Well, there it is, because that's 40 foot tall. 40 foot tall. Yeah, I always thought that Zacchaeus climbed it. That's what Zacchaeus climbed it.
You think you took Grandma to Africa in '96 after you already lived here?
Oh, when did I move here?
Well, Sarah Joy was born in 90.
I was 6 in '96.
Wait,
And Sarah was 3.
Sarah was born in '93.
Oh, no, I had already been to Africa. Probably 2 years before. So then I was here just a few years after.
Yeah.
That's up
And then Merle lived just up the road in that house that we saw that entranceway. So could walk there.
With a main bedroom and another little bit here with a gymnasium underneath. That house finished. How many square feet do you have? Wow.
I didn't hear the answer to how many square feet.
So this is the back,
In the gymnasium.
the back of his house.
Wow.
The police came.
That curved counter.
The police came at 2 o'clock in the morning.
You can just move over a bit more to this side of here. Characteristics of an ostrich. But before I actually do that, I'd like to explain to you a bit more in detail about this black bag of its head. This bag is not for advertising purposes. It's just used as ostriches being very stupid. At the same time, where sheep are very flock bunches. Notice that you first stay in groups. Now, Freddie, with a hood on his head, cannot see the other ostriches. At the same time, he cannot see us. So Freddie believes immediately because he can't see anybody, it's highly unlikely that anybody can see him. On the ostrich, that's for Freddie, moves from the bottom to the center. The second one again from the top to the center. And the third one is this grey nictitating membrane, which is used only in the desert sandstorms. It's just there to avoid dust or dirt from entering into the eye of the ostrich. Second desert characteristic of ears being very large, they are protected by the flap of skin covered with these bristles like hairs. Even though the ear is extremely large, ostriches cannot hear very well, whether they don't want to, one of the two. Third desert characteristic are nostrils. Ostriches have got four, two large ones in front, one on either side, and behind them two very, very small ones, also one on either side. And in a desert sandstorm, the ostrich blocks off the large ones, then simply uses the smaller ones. Now, Freddie is very tame. You scratch him on the back of his head, he falls asleep rather quickly. These birds also have got no teeth. The ostrich has got no power in the jaw. Once you open the mouth of the bird, it normally takes quite a while before they get closed. You'll notice they've got a very small tongue. The brain of the bird is situated around the tuft of hair of the ear. The skull of the ostrich is very, very thin, therefore extremely delicate. If you hit the bird on the back of its head with your fist, or between its eyes with your finger, it's dead in 30 seconds.
With your finger.
Yeah. Wake up quickly. Yeah, say off. Your tongue. Nothing else wide. Your tongue. Up, say off. Wait. Say off, ready? Say off. Up, so your tongue quickly. On.
It's too sleepy.
Ostriches have got 24 vertebrae in the whole body in the back. And you can even take the neck and actually fold it in half. Because of all these vertebrae, they feel no pain whatsoever. Another interesting characteristic is the windpipe, which moves down the throat here. It actually protects the ostrich in case it runs into this wooden fence or if it runs into a tree branch. If it runs into an obstruction, the windpipe just turns out of the way, either to the right or for that matter, it can turn to the left. But it goes a stage further actually, it can turn right around. And they cannot choke death. It's called breathe, in other words. When the windpipe is released, it will then move back to the front by itself. So if ostrich runs into something, the windpipe for that part just moves to the side. When the obstruction is removed, it comes back to the front. So these birds feed to a large degree only on vegetation and plant life. The food is gathered in the top section of the throat here. When it is of a large amount, it will then very, very slowly swallow it to the stomach. Once it gets into the stomach, it is then ground up with a stone. As you will see, the throat of the bird, in actual fact, swallow a liter bottle without any real.
Oh, hard drive came unplugged.
That was my fault. Read the number. You read it?
Yeah, I think so.
He must be at the same ostrich farm where I was.
That
And
guy sounds familiar.
well, there aren't that many ostriches around, and this guy is obviously giving a tour. And that's the only ostrich farm I know of. At Oosterhaven, I think.
Explains to us how that cooling bottle found its way to the bird's stomach. Or, if you look at it from the front, they can actually swallow a liter bottle without any real problems. Wake up.
The cadence is
Pretty
just
wake up.
funny.
Hey,
The cat keeps falling
wake
asleep.
up, boy. Wake up. They just got 2 toes. Other birds have always got 3 or 4. This last toe is used to walk on, secondly for defense. With those toenails, ostriches can kill anything. The small toe on the side is only for balancing. And you'll notice that between the 2 toes there's a tiny web of skin. That is similar to ducks and geese. In the sense that it allows a full-grown ostrich, when it's necessary, to swim very, very well.
Wow.
On the front of the toes, the feet, you see these scales. Now these scales, together with the beak of the male ostrich in the breeding season, take on a blood red color. It just serves basically as a warning and a sign of aggression, or sometimes even a light bulb holder. Now the reason why they're using the right foot preferably for this purpose is if you take a pencil and you draw a rough line around the perimeter of the ostrich's right foot, and you then have a look at it from the top, you've actually got the continent of Africa formed on the right foot of the bird. They want it all right with the leather from the skin. Meat is defined from a thigh of an ostrich, which in total is 27 pounds. It's used for the ostrich steak. Per year, 17% of it is exported to Switzerland, where it's treated as a delicacy.
Good
When the
heavens.
neck of the bird is cut off,
I didn't know they ate them.
if you start pulling out these feathers, the ostrich is going to die very, very quickly. Firstly, because it's extremely painful. And secondly, they normally lose too much blood. So a wing feather like this is cut off after 6 months of growth, when it's firstly at its longest, and secondly, they're usually at their nicest. What we do then is we cut the feather off 3 centimeters above the existing nervous and blood line. The remaining piece stays in for 3 months, allowing the nervous system to die off and the blood to return to the skin. After which the remaining piece is pulled out and new feathers like these start growing in the place thereof. In other words, ostrich feathers can either be cut or they can be plucked 3 times in a 2-year cycle. So if there's anybody that would like
There, he's going to get to ride.
We don't know for how long.
He just sat on it. Yeah, this is the same place. It's just a photo op.
anybody else? First year, you'll see it serves some extremely good sense of balance on all the dogs. Then you'll notice by how the
Their
bird
knees
head
are different too. Did he explain that?
I didn't hear him explain it.
Where our knees
area.
go forward, these go down. Wow.
Here it goes.
All right.
He's watched it. He can see one do one.
Yes. Probably ride it like a pro.
Those are the kind of sweaters that Uncle Den's mother always used to knit.
Wow. It really kind of shows what skill those other people had.
Mm-hmm. And then he just put his neck down. I don't remember them hanging on to the ostrich like that. I think they were just running.
No helmet.
Yeah.
Should be wearing a helmet, buddy.
Oh, Susie's going to ride.
Would you ride? I don't think so.
Such a strange looking animal.
It is. I wonder if they have a special purpose. Like camels. Oh, they get a race. Are we boarding everybody? Cape Town, city of my dreams. That's Lion's Head or Signal Mountain. And here comes Table Mountain.
Stay careful when you're at the city. So,
It's Auntie Dot. Yes, I've got that picture. It's Grandma on the right and Auntie Dot on the left.
Oh.
Here I say, yes. Oh, you are horrible. It's terrible. What time is it coming?
I've never seen that. Joy would know who they are.
Actually, I think this country does a lot for visitors, really. Mind accommodation for the parents. They do the lot for the
This is Auntie Dot's younger son,
Yeah, it costs them nothing.
chain smoker.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So that's different. Well, listen, if you're going to leave, I can come fetch you. Oh, no, that's no problem. I can come and pick you up at the holiday and take you to the station. Oh, no, that's no problem. Pardon? I said you're on the station. Right. There's a bus that goes directly. When I work out now, it's getting the car to the airport.
This is
They do, but
Auntie Dot, she's gone. Her granddaughter. They lived together, Auntie Dot and the granddaughter.
Oh, wow.
She was just a saint, that daughter.
so I can see.
No.
Listen, I think it's juice in here. The senior lads in my guys. You look like a rock. Wow, it looks like a rock.
What is her name?
That's a lovely thing.
Come on, go for horses. Because I have one video that I want to show her after this.
See, Norman's smoking constantly. The house just reeks. I was in this house.
Oh, yeah?
But this is that lovely girl. I corresponded with her for a long time. Do you see the different sense of humor?
They laugh easily.
And they poke fun at each other, and there's a comeback and so on. Americans don't do that. And I get into trouble because they don't understand my humor.
Here's the net. All the dirt running down here, and you see a shopping wrench, and you know these things that you put in your hair, these black weights, battleships they used to put. Here he's standing with these things, and I said, what do you think you're doing? He said, because I want ditches in my hair like my father. Ditches. Because his father had waving hair. He wanted waving hair.
I tell you, the fine ladies are good. There, of course,
All
also.
the dirt you had here, he hadn't washed his hair, so all the dirt, water was running down on his hair.
Hadn't washed his hair.
He also wanted wavy hair, but he was really in his last year's school.
No, he was an apprentice.
He just started working. So he came home one night with the hat on. And one day he comes down the table and says, well, what's the story with the hat on? I mean, where's your hat? Take your hat off. They said, no, I'm not going to. My dad said, well, take it off. I'll work you over. They said, no, and he took his hat off and he was as bald as neck. I'm not kidding you.
We
They
cried.
told him at work that if he shaved his hair when it grew, it would be wavy. It was like an S. It was like hair on it. How old was he? He was about 16. Yeah, he just wasn't working.
You know, the men
Tell you,
go
I
by.
tried it. I wouldn't go to bed with this guy. He just had some real stuff trying to line up to it.
They do all these jokes on each other. Nobody takes offense.
I tell you, the family does. From conflict. Yeah, he was coconut oil and all sorts of damn things to make it go.
You know what he used to do? He used to somebody trying to be gym. And then onion. That's right.
Dan, do you have a flash drive somewhere
Put it on top of the
I can send? I need 4 gigabytes.
The only trouble was he threw the onion away and he drank the grape. I tell you, all when I was small, you know, even with his dad and dad, I was small, but he used to get up. But it was no drugs or liquor really attached to the house. You know, there was nothing. Yeah, we used to fight a lot. And, you know, it was the way we were growing up. We used to fight in the end. We used to fight. It was a bit hard in town.
Pearls. She's got a pearl necklace.
Oh, she's such a nice person. She was so good to her grandmother. Just waited on her hand and supported her. But this Uncle Norman had a crush on Joy when they were young.
Oh.
My dad used to box a lot. Yeah, well, we in those days you virtually did what your father used to do. Your father played snooker, you played snooker. If you were the wrestler, you were the wrestler. Come hell or high water, you did it.
The one time that is on home, him and you and the little mascot.
Ice club. Ice club.
Dot's husband had a what's that disease that you get in your extremities from smoking?
Oh, like his vessels are.
And begins with a B. Anyway, he had that in this one finger and it was swollen and horrible and terribly sore always. And then Auntie Dot, she wasn't the most considerate person. And she'd often hit this finger of his, yes, kill him.
And then one night we were sitting and she grabbed the guy because my brother was fighting. And this guy was working my brother over a bit, and of course I think he knocked the job down. He stopped her. I'll never forget it. And I was sitting with her and some guy said, she said, get up, get up. And this guy in front said, and he said, he'll never make it. She goes, get up, get up. What are you talking about? No, we had a tough, really tough thinking up really. But for what, I actually thought to certain little principles in life, I think, but we were growing up.
But this is how we used to. When we were growing up, there was no television, so you made your own entertainment. And we'd go around visiting. Auntie Dot and Uncle John would come at least once a week
Oh, really?
in the evening, and then they just sit around and carry on like this.
I picked him up and I carried him in my arms to the car, and the guy was screaming with pain. And they kicked his head in, and on the one side he had nearly double the size of that. We took him up to the general hospital and they examined him and x-rayed and all that sort of thing. Of course, he used to drink when he was younger, quite a lot. And I don't know, he seemed to have some form of complex, I don't know what it was. And he would get to a stage where he'd try and take on the whole pup, and his mind couldn't take it to start with. Of course, these guys are waiting for this sort of thing. He was buying the drinks, and then he used to get nasty, And the guys used to wait for him until he got outside. But because my dad, very, very nice.
See, wherever you are in Cape Town, almost, then you've got this view of, because here's the mountains, and then Cape Town is between the sea and here, and you've got this view.
So it's either mountains or sea.
See?
Either mountains or sea.
Yeah. And the railway line is around the coast. Yeah.
It must have come through Constantia.
Oh, it's my dad. That's not Joy.
Is it you?
No, Dad wasn't at my wedding. Who can that be? Oh, that's Uncle Norman. That's the father of Norman who was doing. No, this wasn't Norman. Norman was the one that's been doing all the talking. This is his father, John. Okay, so that's Auntie Dot. That's Dad. I don't remember his ears sticking out like that. And that's Uncle John. I wonder what occasion that was. That's Joy, Vivian.
The Prime Minister of China was on TV the other night, and he said he was lucky there.
The administration building.
Oh, Helderberg. It's administration building.
Oh.
Oh, I spent 5 happy years. Boys' dorm.
I have no idea what this building is. Looks like a dorm, Susie thinks.
It was the old teacher's cottage. And that's Helderberg Mountain. Climbed that. No idea what that is. That was built later. I fell down those stairs once.
Oh no.
We used to run down on the side.
Oh, on
and up.
the supports.
Yeah. It's the girls' dorm. And you see how it's on a slope, it's on levels,
Yeah.
with a magnificent view of the bay down. It's lovely. And they didn't have a swimming pool in my day. That's the church Buddy Hart designed. The next one.
Would that be Uncle Buddy?
Yeah,
This is the
Whose dirty sheets I slept in once?
that's the one.
Anderson Hall in the distance.
Anderson Hall, they built that the last year I was there. It's a music building back there. Good old Helderberg Mountain. Boys' dorm.
Looking for an old timer. Haven't seen the old enough to know that.
And that's all new. This is the farm. That's all new. Tennis court. We had nothing.
Looks like a big church.
Yeah. It's for the school, and then there's a big community down in the town down there, Somerset West, and it's their church too.
Silverberg College.
Wayne worked on the farm. He worked his way all the way through high school and college at the farm. His sister got married in that Bulawayo church, and his brother was the best man, and I was the maid of honor. We were all there, but not Wayne. He's down at Elderberg working.
Poor guy.
It was so unfair. Well, I don't know why he's taken us to the boonies. Oh, this is married housing.
Sadie.
Well, that's way up on the hillside. They had the most delightful vineyards, beautiful grapes. Peaches too. Must be the dairy. All of that is new to me. This is the back of the administration building, and you see there's this retaining wall.
Of what?
Helderberg.
Oh, Helderberg.
And we had one of the science teachers was absent-minded, and he was walking along and forgot that there was that embankment, fell all the way down.
Ah!
We used to laugh at him so much. That's the back of the boys' door. He was the photographer, and we had a baptismal pool way up in the mountains. And we had a baptism one day, and he was taking pictures and fell in. But he protected his camera. All you could see sticking above it was his arm with the camera. But he was so sweet, we loved him anyway, and didn't really poke fun of him too much. These were all the buildings. This is what it looked like in my day.
Why did you get that? That was the view we had of Africa most of the time.
And there weren't all these cars. Nobody had cars. Well, there was the one school car, and the Bible teacher had a car. So you walk down from the ad building and then down again to the cafeteria. And we did a lot of walking up and down stairs.
Wow.
But that, but no whites attend here anymore. It's all black.
I know where this is.
You can come up here. No,
What is this?
doesn't look familiar, but it's from the old colonial days. Oh, it's the fort. Probably would say what it is, but it is the fort. But you see the clouds? They sometimes come down lower on Table Mountain when they go to the tabletop.
So this must just be views of Cape Town.
I think this is the Parliament building. They have two. One is the Judicial Centre, Pretoria and Cape Town, and one is I don't know what. Anyway, but there's two. And there's Queen Victoria. But when you see streets of cities these days, it looks somewhat like Sierra Leone. It's not pristine like it was. This was a flower garden near the railroad station. And if boys and Robbie, etc., went to Cape Town, they would bring back flowers from here for the girlfriends.
Oh.
And we would keep them until they were dead in a vase, because if you threw them away before they were dead, your boyfriend would throw you away before you
Whoa.
did. And then it was nice to keep them until they were so dead that Auntie Anne, Dean, would leave a note saying the flowers are dead or the flowers need to be thrown out. And then you've got that to put in your memory book that he gave you those flowers. They must be at a restaurant. And I like that girl so much and I cannot remember her name.
Is this when he's with Dot?
Yes, this is Dot and this is that granddaughter that I used to write
That
to.
you used to write to and you go see and they bought cashew trees and whatever?
Yeah.
Anne?
No. And Robbie also agreed with me that she's just the loveliest person.
It's really hard to hear people over the restaurant.
Oh.
This is the view from our balcony window. You see Table Mountain right there, clouds barely coming over.
So you can see here's the ocean and there's the mountain and the city in between.
Yeah. It's gorgeous.
And then there's the main road.
These are known as the 12 apostles.
And then there's the main road and the trolleys go up and down all the time. You need a car or something stops. It's down there, not quite at Cape Town. There's a point that goes off here, and that's where the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, Indian Ocean, Atlantic Ocean. And then it was on the slopes of Table Mountain that Rex proposed to me one night. And then we ran down the hill to the main street here, caught a trolley to Buddy and Elisa's house, and then went and celebrated. He must have rented a car.
Just enjoyed visiting.
Ah!
But if
Do you recognize him?
Yeah.
I can tell you what I think of some of his shows. How much do you think of Vision Tutu? Same? No, Vision Tutu I think is one of the possibilities. Plus the Zulu reason. Tell us about when when your mother's found you smoking.
Yeah.
My mother caught me smoking. I'd been out to the foul run fence, and I
bought the cigarettes. And so I was sitting in the house after I smoked them, really dizzy, with my head in my hand, and my mother asked me what was wrong. I said, I'm just resting. She said, come here and let me smell your breath. Being a non-smoker, she could tell if someone had smoked. So she had threatened me in times past about smoking. She wasn't an addict. What's wrong?
Put them inside.
She wasn't an addict, but she didn't smoke. She said, I warned you, come in the room. So she took us into their bedroom. She closed the door. She got my dad's big, thick belt from behind the door. Then we started a race that could have broken any Olympic record. Over the bed, under the bed, around the bed. Every time I came within range, she gave me a swat regardless of what thought was available. Until finally I fell exhausted on the bed.
She was
She left. When she came in a little while later, I pointed out the welts to her and said, you see these? Now you know I could report you to the police. She said, do you want me to give it to you again? So for about 2 months, I didn't smoke. And then one day, some friends of mine, we were in the little eucalyptus woods. They brought out cigarettes. And I was on an errand for my mother, so I sat with them and smoked. And then I ate eucalyptus leaves to get rid of the cigarette smoke. So when I came back, my mother met me at the fence. She said, where were you? I said, oh, I've been with my buddy. She said, you've been smoking, haven't you? I said, no. She said, let me smell your breath. I went, she said, not through your nose, through your mouth. So I gave her a little puff. She said, you've been smoking. So we went back into the bedroom. The repeat of the previous performance. And I never, ever smoked again after that.
How old were you?
I must have been about 13. 9, 10, I say about 12.
yeah.
Anyway, it may have been 2.
Yeah.
It was very, very small.
And I was outside the windows listening the second time. Me and my girlfriend laughing our heads off, and we could hear him say,
After that, I went
Mom, I'll never smoke again. When? You bet you'll never smoke again. Mom, you bet you will.
But that entrepreneurial endeavor came to a sudden stop when the police came around.
This is when you lived in Kamala?
No, this is when I lived in Salt Lake.
Yeah.
No, I was a good boy. So then my folks moved to Indonesia. That was the smoke. I owe it to my mother that I never smoked because she felt it every bit of it out. But, you know, take a sneak peek. He's coming out of the bathroom with it hanging around his neck, and his buddy runs up to him and says, "You're sneaky peekee's been on all the time." My father used to tell us how when he was a boy at Ruby Ranch, the way they used to kill baboons. The baboons used to come down out of the mountains or the little hills to get into their corn. Matter of fact, he always insisted a baboon could never count more than 2 because he would tear the corn ear off and put it under his arm, tear another one and put it on his arm, another one and put it under his arm, that all fall on the floor every time he opened up his arm. But finally, when he ran away, he had one under his arm and one in his mouth, so he could only count up to 2. But the baboons used to bother them, and they, when the baboon eats, he has these little pouches here, like monkeys have, that they stuff the pouches up first in case they disturbed it, and they can run off, and then bring the food out of their pouches and eat. And so, what my grandfather...
That's where you got it from, Lynette.
Yeah.
...was sprinkle little bits of candy out in the field. The baboons would come down, and they'd eat the candy, and they'd stuff it into these little pouches, and get these little pouches full of candy. Then they'd run off into the mountains to eat. Then after they'd gotten the baboons used to coming down and eating the candy, then they would get little detonators and they would dip them in treacle.
What's treacle?
Treacle is like
Molasses.
like molasses. It's a very sweet, sugary type of spread. So they would dip the detonators in treacle and spread them around. The baboons would come down and they would stuff these into their little pouches here. And all of a sudden, one greedy baboon would bite down on one and it would blow his head off. And the troop would scatter. And then out in the woods and out on the hills, they'd hear it going bang, 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 as these baboons brought these detonators out of their pouches. That's the,
Doesn't seem very sportsmanlike.
they killed them. My daddy,
It's like throwing grenades into the lakes to kill the fish.
they went on some big hunting on the beach. My mother has some pictures, with tanks and things like that. And then he and my Uncle John took off once on a big buffalo hunt. But two things of his never rubbed off on me: his ability to garden and hunting. Both of those.
He used to hunt birds.
I haven't had my picture done for a long time. Help through the curtains a little more.
Yeah, I'm gonna try that.
You have some college in?
Yeah.
This is college still?
You do it for about 10 minutes?
Yeah, I used to do it for a lot more than that than the old one.
After his first heart attack, he started doing this.
I'm just building up now very slowly.
Before that, he used to walk through the house. He had his track and just move as fast as he could. Karen said you had to clear out of the place. Here he was coming.
Because I'm doing this just for tone, not for, cardiovascular strength.
When you go and walk, how long do you walk?
I walk 1 mile.
1 mile?
It takes me about 20 minutes, so I'm not walking at a very fast pace. But what I like about this is it gives me the upper chest as well as
But he bragged he wore out his exercise bike.
Yeah,
I don't know how he did it that pace.
4 years
I think this must have been just after his
My
surgery.
father used to drive a train from Choma up to near the Congo border. And we decided to celebrate Joy's 4th birthday at the Victoria Falls.
Oh, he's going to tell the
So we
story.
went to the Victoria Falls for a short vacation. That's where Joy first got introduced to baboons that would hold your hand when you want to feed them, which nearly made her 10 years old. But the most interesting experience was when we decided to take a canoe trip across the Zambezi to Livingston Island, which is right on the lip of the falls. So my sister Cynthia, myself, and a friend of the family, and 2 African paddlers got in the canoe, angled across the current, and docked on Livingston Island. We looked over Livingston Island, walked right along, saw the lip of the falls, then go back in the canoe and started our way back to shore. I looked in the water and I saw this big rock sticking out of the water ahead of us. We went on by, and then I looked back and I said to Cynthia, I said, it looks like that rock is following us. It was then that we realized that we'd been caught in the current, and it was taking us backwards towards the falls. I looked at the 2 African paddlers, and they were paddling very frantically and sweating. Finally, they were able to get out of the main, walk on water, and got us to the beach.
Good night.
Ever since then, I have not had a very deep interest in Livingston Island. What happens is when they come down to the falls, they come across and come right on down straight towards Livingston Island. Going back, they go back straight this way, the Zambezi is coming around, moving more or less into calmer waters until they cross over.
So Livingston Island is right on the lip?
Right on the lip. And,
so you can actually just look off and see the...
Right over, and you can look down at the gorge of the falls running across our And it was also low season. It was not the rainy season. The falls was not in full flow at that time.
Was that the only time you went to Victoria Falls?
No, I had been.
Jeez.
No, we lived in Choma.
Where's Choma?
Just a little south of Monsey.
Okay.
Choma was a little railroad town about 100 miles.
Since then, Robbie's been to Choma and told me about it.
My father used to drive the train from Choma to Andola, I think, which is near the common border.
So how long did you live in Broken Hill?
Lived in Broken Hill the first time till I was 4.
And then you moved where?
Then we moved to Salisbury.
Lived in Salisbury how long?
I think so.
Till I was about 12. Then we moved to Choma.
Oh,
Then
okay.
we moved from Choma to Bulawayo. And it was when we were living in Bulawayo that I
Contracted rheumatic fever.
we went from Broken Hill. We went from Broken Hill to Salisbury. From Salisbury to Inazura, where the missionaries were killed. We didn't know there was a madman station there.
Oh, so that's Eastern Zimbabwe.
So from Inazura back to Salisbury. From Salisbury to Choma. From Choma to
And where'd you go to school all this time?
When we were in Inazura, I went to boarding school for Safi when I was 10 years old.
Which is where?
Just about 20, 30 miles from Inazura. And
They treated him very badly.
when we were in Northern Rhodesia at Choma, I used to have to go down into Southern Rhodesia to Bulawayo.
How old were you then?
I was about 13, 14.
14. And that's when he got rheumatic fever and nearly
I
died.
had to go to boarding school. It was while I was at boarding school that I got rheumatic fever. I had to go to the hospital, so my folks moved down to Bulawayo.
Oh, so that's when they moved down to Bulawayo.
Because that's when I had the first bad attack of rheumatic fever. So my father got a transfer down there.
My father got a transfer.
Was Jack already living there?
Jack was already living there, and Jack was already in Advent.
What you say?
My father got a transfer from Salisbury when he was with all these shenanigans with his smoking and stealing and all that. So then my dad quickly got a transfer. The police were coming. Or had come. And so it was very convenient the way he could get transfers. So we got out of the country and went to Northern Rhodesia. And then it was because of him again with his rheumatic fever. But I was already sent out of the country because of malaria, and I was down in Bulawayo too. And so my dad conveniently got transferred to Salisbury.
It's convenient.
What part of Bulawayo did he live? Did he live near Kamal?
No,
It's another story.
when we moved there, he lived out of ways. I can't even think of the suburb that he lived in. And we lived first of all in Brickfields, which is near the steelworks. And
That's when Joy got typhoid fever.
our hot water tank was a big 44-gallon drum outside the bathroom with a hole in the wall for the pipe to go through. Every time we wanted to bath, the African had to go out and make a fire under the 44-gallon drum. Heat it up, then we could turn the faucet on and get some good rusty hot water in the bathtub to bathe with. We had cold water that was piped in. Okay.
So that's it.
That's it.
Went by quickly.
5 hours of tape.
Wow.
Maybe 5.5. Yeah, 5.5 hours of tape.
When they moved to Bulawayo because of Cezanne, it was, the war was going on and there was no housing. And so we lived in a hotel with two rooms with interleading door. And then after about a year or so of that, we moved out to the brick fields. And it was in a swamp. And that's where Joy got typhoid fever.
Wow.
Where did you eat when you're living in a motel?
Oh, we lived at, Mom loved it. We ate in the hotel. It was a hotel.
Yeah, that's pretty fantastic.
Yeah. And Mom liked it all the more because the children ate in their own dining room. So the Mom could live it up in the other dining room.
Ooh, that finished just in time. I've got 1% battery. So I guess we don't get to watch. I'll have to watch my clip that I'm so excited about later.
Oh, watch it now. Plug it in.
Let me go upstairs and get my.
Because isn't it short?
It's short, yeah. Let me get my charging cable upstairs.
James is thrilled. He has evidence of child abuse.
This is of him.
Yes.
Wow, that was nostalgic. Walk down memory lane.
But, you know, Robbie knew the answers to every question he was asking his father.
Yes. But you know, he's never been a show.
No.
And that's how Robert.
It's true.
Jonathan little crazy. Citizens.
So I wouldn't say child abuse, but I don't often get nervous because I feel like kids by and large can take care of themselves most of the time. But this clip made me nervous.
Being the firstborn is not all it's right.
Let me see.
And you have to remember, we were young by today's standard of parents.
Yeah. Yeah, when you're judged by your children.
Yeah. What house are we living in?
What? Where is it?
What, all this buildup and then you can't find it? How do you feel about the living room, Mom? The family room.
Yeah, I like the extra space.
Kind of makes me want to fill it up with a coffee table.
Oh, no, the kids need.
I must have
Yeah,
not.
the kids need room. Jasmine.
Well, and Jonathan Wall is on the floor.
Yeah.
Oh no.
You lost it?
What happened is I was collecting footage for
TCS?
the intro, and I did not think that child endangerment was a good part of the family narrative to preserve. I'll find it.
You don't remember the name of Dot's granddaughter that I used to write?
Well, you say it's not Anne.
Let's see. So this is pre-Julie.
And Grandma would get on my case to write to her for Grandma, and she would often tell me about it. So there was quite a correspondence. And then the school was afraid that when Grandma died, we would lose contact. I would know her.
Okay. Here's sweet baby James.
Oh.
What?
fast forwarding?
Ashley.
I'm fast forwarding because every single one of these files is like 2.5 hours long.
Oh, but it's good stuff on
It
there.
is good stuff on there. I got 2 hours of sleep last night. And I'm just trying to find this one clip that I'm remembering. I think I am still this.
You're so cute.
This right here.
Night night, James. Bye bye. Bye.
Yeah, your finger on
It's
the foot.
right in there.
You're touching it. Yeah, his fingers on there was a screw, and he would put his finger on there.
Oh my goodness.
And Dad zooms in on it.
It's just
But I'm concentrating. I'm paying attention.
not well. That needle gets going really fast, and your hands aren't anywhere near mine.
It's good mother. Yeah, she's not done. Just sitting on your neck while she's working it all.
You're not even watching where your finger is.
It looks like you're sewing like a wallet or something. There are pictures.
I don't know what that is.
Where do they have it sitting?
That's not
They come in.
Oh, it's Sabbath school. It's Jesus in a Bible that you open your felt Bible. I didn't remember that I had done that. See what? You're learning all kinds of things.
Oh my goodness.
Your finger's beside the needle.
And his eyes are.
James loves to sew. Don't ya?
Yes.
You love to sew?
He played with pens.
That's why I let Jackson do it.
That is why I let Justin do
So there you have it. That was, of all the clips that I have clicked through, that was the one where I was like, what?
Dude, he's so cute.